Halfway, I'm still alone. I keep catching groups and passing them. I don't know if I maybe burnt my matches a bit too soon today. Some of the climbs on the back end of this have been absolutely savage. We've split.
I'm really excited. I basically wasn't really expecting to do this ride this week. As I was just checking local Strava events, I noticed that Red Bull, which is just a village over from where we live, has got sportive running. So I've entered in the 80-kilometre distance. They're also running a shorter 25-mile distance and a longer 85-mile distance, so I'm doing the 50-mile distance. Finally, after a week or nearly 2 weeks of rain and storms and just terrible weather in the UK, the sun looks to be back, so I'm really excited about that. I've been itching to get out on the bike. I've been on the trainer on Zwift a couple of times this week, which has been pretty hellish, to be honest. I have no idea how many people are actually going to be here. Hopefully we find ourselves a nice little group that seems to be running at a similar pace to us and we can kind of stick with them. Obviously it's not a race, it's still a sportive. I'm just looking to have a good day out on the bike, but hopefully I can sort of test myself and see how I'm feeling. So it's going to be an 82.8 kilometre route with 857 kilometres of climbing. So that's going to be a pretty decent day out on the bike, I must say. I'm going to try and take around 60 grams of carbs an hour. I'm trying to make sure I get my carb loading intake up a little bit. I think primarily because the gels that I have, which are the SIS isotonic gels, they're only around 20 grams of carbs, so you have to take on 3 of them per hour just to do 60 grams per hour, and it just ends up being quite a lot. Also got one bottle with just water and the other one with some Cadence electrolytes, which are the energy ones. That is a caffeine electrolyte. And then of course the bike, which is my Triban RC 520, as is featured in all of my other videos as well. And the main thing is just to have a bit of fun, enjoy some of those blue skies which we're finally seeing, and yeah, just have a good time. Start getting my final prep and we'll head off to the start.
Been a good start so far. I dropped the group that I started with and I've just caught and dropped the group in front as well.
The large majority of it, I was actually cycling alone. At the start, I kind of dropped the group that I was with originally, and I was hoping to average nearer to 30, or at least high 20s today. Felt good. I'd obviously already had kind of an 8-kilometre warm-up, so other people may not have done that. I quickly closed the gap to the next group on the first sort of climb of the day, and then I did go past that group as well, which had a few members of the Hampstead Triathlon team in it, which we'll come back to.
23k in now, and I am alone again. I was riding with one other guy, but I just kept dropping him on the climbs, so I've continued to push on. Really enjoying it. It's a lovely day out.
I was feeling really good on the bike. I was really enjoying the route, and none of the climbs had been too tough. They were all roads that were very familiar to me, so I kind of knew what was coming as well. Catching a lot of people, which was quite satisfying. It's always nice to be like, keep moving forwards, but so many cyclists on the route. The route was really nice. Roads were sort of rolling hills, and not too busy on a Sunday morning, which was really nice.
So we're about 40k in at the moment, halfway. I'm still alone. I keep catching groups than passing them. I mean, I can't complain about the day, it's been perfect. The route's really good as well, really enjoyed it.
And then as we kind of reached nearly around like 35 kilometers, the Hampstead Triathlon guys that were in that first group did eventually catch me as they started to work together. Then they sort of invited me to just hop on the back of their group, and we worked together a little bit for around 20 kilometers, which was really nice. That brought the pace up as well because I wasn't having to fight headwinds alone. And it was really nice to sort of make some new friends. So big thanks to Daniel and the rest of the Hampstead Triathlon guys that were there today for kind of adopting me into their little group. That was really cool. So yeah, big thanks to them. And just before we got to the split, there were some tougher climbs, much steeper, still relatively short by climbs, you know, compared to climbs across Europe. Very short climbs, but extremely steep. And yeah, that's where I really noticed some of the flaws with my current setup. I'm running 50-34 at the front and 32-11 on the back with an 11 speed. So I'm missing some of those final climbing gears when stuff does get really steep. So I kind of ran out of gears a little bit, which I felt a lot today on some of the really steep stuff. So I'm definitely going to look at revising the setup a little bit. Once we got to the split, I said goodbye to the Hampstead guys as they were doing the long route today, and I was just doing the 50 miler.
About 60k in now. I finally found a group with the wonderful Hampstead Triathlon Club. Shout out to them, really nice. Towed me along for a few, sort of like 20k, which was lovely. And now we've split. They're doing the long route. 13k to go. I am suffering a little bit. Some of the climbs on the back end of this have been absolutely savage. Just so steep. But I think that's most of the really hard climbs done. They've hurt me. I don't know if I maybe burnt my matches a bit too soon today, but because even when I was with the triathlon boys, still pushing pretty hard. So like 10k and I managed to spill one of my gels all over my bar. So I've been dealing with sticky bar all day, which is pretty horrible. But yeah, here we go. Last 12k, we'll bring it home.
Then the last 20k honestly was quite tough. I was by myself most of the time, a couple of other people just dotting around. But yeah, I really started to feel the fatigue in the legs. By that point, I'd really pushed myself today. I'm not sure whether my effort was well placed, to be honest. I feel like maybe I need to work on that, but I don't have a power meter at the moment, so it's kind of hard to judge. I'm really judging based off feel. I have no idea how much power I'm actually putting down. I was absolutely finished by the end. I didn't have anything left in the tank, which I think is always a good sign of a good ride, that you've properly pushed yourself. So for the 80k, I was aiming for sub 3 hours, which would be a new PR, which I've not done before. So let's see whether we actually managed that. If you're not following me over on Strava, I'll leave the link in the description of this video or on my stories if you're watching on Instagram. We actually got a new 5 mile PR. I'm pretty sure that'll be when I was riding with the triathlon guys, because I've never really ridden in a particularly fast group before. So also a PR in the 10k, 20k, 30k, 40k and 50k, and 80k and 50 mile PRs as well. 80k in 2 hours 51:27 with an average speed of 28 kilometers an hour. So really pleased with that. It's really cool to be able to see the improvement that I've been making by just getting hours in on the bike, training. Really, really cool. Amazing day out. I'd really recommend you check out a sportive if they're in your area. Top tier day on the bike. So yeah, buy a road bike and get cycling. You won't regret it. See you in the next one.